9 to 50. Okay, this is just 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
11 minutes. Okay?
so you know,
11
going back to
minutes.
the your original question about Newsom, I mean, I don't know what the betting markets are for him or what his polling is
He's
recently
shot
because I haven't looked
way
at
up
it. But
yeah.
has he lapped Kamala yet? Because she's been consistently leading. I'm
No,
pretty sure.
she's pretty consistently at the top, but he's
Yeah.
like a firm number 2 on like every poll that I've seen, and he's just doing like
They were gaslighting Hutch the whole video. How so?
whatever you feel about California and the
I haven't
baggage of
watched this,
that
by
on
the
the
way.
national stage or whatever, he's fucking doing the thing right now. He's going on Sean Ryan. He went on like the Flagrant podcast.
Wait, Newsom was on Flagrant?
Was he not? No,
He was on
maybe-
Ryan.
sorry,
I know
sorry,
he was
maybe
on
not.
Sean Ryan. I don't think he was on Flagrant. I know Buttigieg was, Rokana.
Don't
Bernie.
care. Still voting for AOC. Sorry.
I don't think. I just still don't think AOC is going to run for president. I think she's going to use her Chuck first.
Do we really want to talk about AOC right now? Because I have a few thoughts.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, did you like soy out about the vote on Israel?
I didn't.
Oh God, dude, Pisco is just, dude, he's just so abrasive. What the fuck, dude? He's not matching, dude. He wants to fight constantly. Why? He just wants to fight fucking constantly. This guy's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
Why don't you?
Like, oh my God, his smugness. He's not even the fucking lawyer, right? Like fuck.
Can you explain like what happened?
She is getting ripped to shreds.
Okay.
By your friends.
Oh,
my friends.
No, Josiah.
Yeah, you don't know the Vanguard, Pisco. You have no you're like.
What do you mean?
Not just Vanguard.
Not just
Vanguard. Not just all of them.
They're all my friends, Pisco. They are all my friends. I'm basically by association. I too am ripping AOC.
Think of a random lefty content creator in your mind. They are ripping AOC to shreds right now. Anyone you can think of.
Econoboy. He's a socialist. Has he been
Econoboy
ripping?
probably has some.
And that's true. How could you be so pro AOC while meanwhile all your friends, you're not giving any of your other friends shit. You're not giving any of your other friends shit for bashing AOC. Why are you such a God? You fuck you, Pisco.
Bad thoughts about her right now.
Wait, when are we gonna put up that AOC hate video? No, wait, who's going after my queen?
I guess for the context to the audience, basically, during this, it was like a defense budget proposal that was getting.
Did you two talk about AOC at all in your convo shops? Yes, I did. Yeah, I basically said in the beginning, AOC was very well liked by the leftists, but I said that I would bet money that AOC, as she becomes more and more moderate to grow her tent, that she would be like, she got disregarded by the leftists, right? The leftists started shunning her. Well, the same thing is going to happen with Zoran Mondani, right? Where he, campaigns at first as like a fucking socialist, whatever the fuck, right? But as he grows larger and larger, he's going to become discarded by the leftists again, right? So again, what has happened to AOC is going to happen to Mondani. And the reason for this is because New York City is so fucking blue. Okay, it's so fucking blue. It enables someone like AOC to win in New York City, okay? But you can't apply that same logic to any West Virginia town. You can't apply that same logic to any kind of Central California town, okay? You can't apply that same logic to other places. You can't do it, okay? You can't do it. So yeah, I mean, it's just so stupid. But for New York, both Zoran won there and AOC won there. So they have that similarity at least, which makes me think that Zoran is going to walk down the same path as AOC, right? Because you don't just want to be a mayor. You also want to be an actual federal politician at some point, right? Yeah. It's also fucking that's crazy.
Voted on. Marjorie Taylor Greene had proposed an amendment to strip out $500 million worth of funds from assistance that we give Israel to support their Iron Dome program. And I think that essentially the people who voted in favor of this amendment were Marjorie Taylor Greene, because she is the one that proposed it, and then basically 5 congressional progressives, I think, and AOC.
Al Green, Rashida Tlaib, Ilhan Omar, and a couple other people.
And AOC did not vote in favor of it. And AOC's argument was basically that, look, I voted against the bill in the final bill that got passed. I just don't think that this was really, I guess for lack of a better term, like she just didn't seem to really want to come out and just be like, look, this is just not really going to stop the offensive posture of the Israeli government, and so she voted against it. And so a bunch of lefties are really upset with her about that. And I think there's, I think the actual the principle of the criticism, I think, does make some sense. But
we're going to fight again.
Well, to Hutch's point, but you're not making. I mean, I feel like you've said this several times that like you're not really even commenting on the principle nature of the vote. You're making a purely practicality-based vote, which is to say that, this. I guess under your view, you would say that like this kind of gets some of the heat off of AOC, and it wouldn't be as controversial of a vote for her to take.
Let's.
And it was DOA anyway.
Hutch, you are not critiquing. Yes or no? You are not critiquing Econo Boy's principle of the argument separate from the pragmatics. You're not criticizing what Econo Boy just said about the sort of underlying principle of the policy, correct?
No, principally I think it's stupid, and strategically I think it's stupid because what you're saying.
Yeah, because dude, fuck. Yes, because they're not separate. They're not fucking separate. They're intertwined. What's practical is principled, because you. Oh fuck, dude, I don't know if I can handle it.
So the logic is, and let me spell it out. They say that the Iron Dome is not just a defensive missile system or defensive missile system, right? They say it's offensive because Israel can conduct military strikes and military operations without any credible fear of like a massive barrage of rockets, because they have this intent. And so if they were to suffer like those bombings or whatever, then maybe they would think twice about like, bombing Syria or Iran or whatever. This is fucking stupid.
It's not stupid at all. No, it's not stupid at all.
Hold on, let me explain.
Should we give Palestine Iron Dome? Should we give Palestine Iron Dome?
I would like to finish my point right now.
Okay, yeah, sure.
The reason why this is fucking stupid is,
bro, I like how Pisco is now so ready to defend, like, to be anti-IDF after he developed his relationship with Straight Array, the Great Betrayer. Guys, we need a Dark Souls nickname. We need a Dark Souls nickname for Pisco, dude. We need a Dark Souls nickname. If Straight Array is the Great Betrayer, who is Pisco? We need to come up with a name.
The rockets that are sent into Israel very oftentimes are sent into Israeli like civilian neighborhoods. And so what you're saying to take this position, you are saying that in order for Israel to like learn its lesson that it can't do these strikes in Syria or whatever, is you think that civilians, Israeli civilians should die. That's what it's the money is fun.
No. Hang on. So we're gonna have the argument. We're gonna linearize and be 100% clear.
Dude, we're gonna have a fucking IVP debate? Fucking seriously? Haven't we had enough of these already?
So to be clear, you would not support, would you, giving defensive, quote unquote, defensive weaponry to Hamas, correct?
Just FYI, okay? I think Pisco is most likely completely out of his depth when it comes to IVP, okay? I don't even know why the fuck he's like trying to dip his toes into talking about IVP, dude. I'm sorry, but everyone at this point is already way past whatever Pisco's point is. Okay.
No, to Hamas, no, I would not.
Yeah.
But
why would you be in favor of that? Wait. Why would? Can I ask why?
Hold on. As someone who doesn't want like anyone to die from these bombs, I would want like everybody to have a fucking Iron Dome system. Okay. So it's not like I do think that civilians in every country should be allowed.
Why would you be against defensive weapons for Hamas?
I do not put Hamas on the same plane.
Is Pisco defending Hamas right now?
As IDF.
Wait, no, but hang on. Those are defensive weapons. They're defensive weapons to prevent civilian death and to prevent attacks from coming into Gaza. So why wouldn't you be in support of Hamas having defensive weapons?
If it was like any other like governing body or military that was not Hamas, then I think we could have that conversation.
No, presumably because you understand the fungibility of resources, right? Money spent in one thing is like, it's fungible, right? Like, just like you wouldn't be in favor of just, I don't know, like just handing over buckets of money to Hamas because it shores up other things that they could otherwise spend on arms, right? Like, it's the argument for material support.
Aren't you distracting from the point?
I'm not distracting at all. I'm not distracting at all.
Necessarily leads you to the conclusion that Israeli civilians are going to have to die in order for like Israel to learn this lesson. But I don't even want to like attack that necessarily on its own. The reason why I think this is stupid is because if you start having rockets.
No, I mean, I get what Pisco is trying to do. He's trying to make an equivalency, right? Obviously, he thinks that it's stupid, but he's trying to make a point.
Go into Israel and they don't have this Iron Dome defensive system. You don't think that Israel's
I think he's trying to say that why are we giving Israel so much money? Dude, I don't fucking
Can attack even more harshly if like dozens or hundreds of Israeli civilians are killed. You don't think they're going to bomb even more?
The notion is the notion is. Go ahead, Econoboy, but I have a response. But
yeah, no, I was going to say, I mean, the main argument that I've heard, which I think is pretty sensible, is the idea of the fungibility of the assistance, right? That, look, I mean, I think if Israel, you know, the Iron Dome program is undoubtedly effective at preventing civilian casualties in Israel, but I think that by defunding and just like generally stripping away the military assistance from Israel, you're forcing them to make that choice themselves and say, hey, look, like obviously Israel has the money to fund this system. Like Israel's a very rich country and they have the ability to financially, you know, they have the tax base to replace all of.
Just FYI, okay? The taking away of support is almost, if not equal to the moral culpability of giving support or giving or making a proactive action. Okay, so for example, if you are protecting someone in your life and that person has learned to become more dependent on you because you're protecting them, taking away that support is in fact still an affirmative action. All right, does that make sense? And that should be weighed as such, right? Like, you're not going to say, well, you know, well, this person seems to be doing fine, I'm going to take away the support, blah, 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 right? Well, I mean, well, hold on a second, okay? You still have to measure the morals when you're taking away support for something. For example, no one would ever argue that if you take away, like it's perfectly okay to take away USAID funding. Does that make sense? Like they wouldn't be, I don't think they would be saying the same thing about USAID funding, right? Oh, well, you know, all these other countries, they can just take care of themselves, right? Why do they need American money? Why do they need American money? All of these other countries, they can just take care of themselves, right? Right? The thing is that if you take away Iron Dome funding, what you're actually doing is that is an actual military attack on Israel. That's what it is. Okay? You're making a military attack on Israel when you're taking away Iron Dome funding. That's what you're doing. Okay? It's not literally a military attack. It is spiritually. It might as well be. Okay? That's what you're doing, right?
You know, money that goes to them from the United States. And so similarly with the Iron Dome system, I think it would be very sensible for it to be funded, but it should be funded by the Israeli government. And the argument, especially at this point where we're seeing like, you know, it seems like we're seeing starvation deaths kick up and like they've become significantly more aggressive since Trump took office with all the aid. I mean, I saw a story today which saw that they opened fired on a bunch of people that were scrambling to get aid from the aid trucks because people have gotten so desperate that
like 60 people got murdered. It's fucking insane.
And I was going to say, like, in that environment, given that, again, fungibility of resources, that, hey, Israel, if you want.
Dude, how are these people so fucking spineless now when it comes to Israel versus Palestine after they separated from Destiny? I feel like, was Destiny really the reason? Why didn't they disagree with Destiny when they still had a bridge? Why didn't they debate Destiny when they still had a bridge? Did they not have the guts? Did they not have the gall to do it? Did they lack the fucking, like, balls to debate Destiny on this shit when they still had a bridge? So now you're gonna go out and say, like, oh, I've been, you know, I'm anti-IDF, I'm pro-Palestine, after you burnt the bridge with Destiny? Are you fucking kidding me? Why do you debate him when you guys had a bridge? Fuck me, dude. This is so fucking stupid. They're so spineless.
To fund the Iron Dome, we know that you have the money to do that. And by stripping away that money, you're kind of forcing them to reprioritize their military resources for a defensive posture,
war,
which would be better for the Palestinian people. And I think that's a very sensible.
While simultaneously protecting Israeli civilians, right?
So, wait, exactly. You guys are disagreeing with this idea that if more Israeli civilians died, that they
wait a minute.
You're not hearing what Econoboy just said. You're just
Hutch,
literally not listening to him.
Can you address that part, Hutch? Because I think, listen, I'm not a foreign policy guy, but from what little I've heard.
Oh, and then you have fucking Josiah. God damn it, dude. I once looked up to Josiah so much, dude. I once looked at, I was like, oh my god, look at this guy like actually making it in the fucking political commentary thing. But now I can't just stop thinking of him as like the enabler of all of these, right? Like he clearly is not trying to be too fucking harsh here, but he's certainly not defending Hutch. He's certainly not like not contributing to the dogpile on Hutch right now, right? Like he is clearly enabling Econoboy and Pisco here, right? He is not explicitly making any statements where he is being like pro Palestine or something, right? But the thing is like, dude, holy shit. I don't blame him for not debating Destiny as a rage bait, bad faith mind reader. That's not true. That's just not true. Okay, he is a good faith debater. Okay, he just is. I think the only time where I can say like Destiny is a bad faith debater is when it came to the Men in Black shit, right? Like for me, yeah, that was a clear example of like bad faith where he clearly didn't want to like fucking concede to counterpoints. Yeah, sure. But when it comes to this, no, I fully disagree.
That was, I think, a pretty good point, this idea that it doesn't necessitate the death of Israeli citizens. If the Israeli government is capable of funding the Iron Dome on itself, Israel just can't have its cake and eat it too. They can't simultaneously commit an offensive war with impunity and rely on the United States largesse. They can protect themselves. It doesn't necessitate.
He was 100% right in that debate. You're bad faith. No, wrong. He was being so bad faith in that debate with the counterpoints, dude. He was resorting, he knows that he was losing, so he kept on resorting to the tactics where he is like being bad. Anyway, the point is that fuck Men in Black.
Israeli deaths. It would also prevent them from being in a position to inflict such casualties on Palestinians. Do you accept that?
Yes, that's an understandable argument. I understand what you're saying here. If we can dive into the like practical consideration here.
Okay.
No.
Wait. Can you grant that at least? I mean, wait. So you're gonna say grant? Okay. So you're great. Okay. Cool.
I understand.
Destiny says he supports the genocide of Palestinians. Yes, in that one clip, he has. Outside of that, he has never said that. And in that one specific clip, he said it as like, okay, fine. If you want to double down, right, you might as well be supporting that or some shit, right? It was in the context of it. He isn't actually supporting the genocide of Palestinians, obviously, right? And he has condemned the IDF for making war crimes against like Palestinians. Like dude, it's just that, oh my God, dude. Everyone just watches clips and no one actually watches it.
Understand that argument. Maybe I didn't hear what he was saying exactly because I was in my own head or whatever. But yes, that makes sense. But like, just now, can we dive into the practical?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
For someone like AOC, right? You guys want to see her succeed. Like she is the biggest champion right now. She's the biggest champion by far for democratic socialism or progressive policies
100%.
in Congress. Bernie's very clearly handing her the mantle. She very clearly, I think, is not going to be content to stay in the House. I don't think she wants to be House Speaker. I think she wants to be a senator, or governor, or president. I think like
we'll see. Yeah.
I think that's my sense of things, right? As such, you should be actively rooting for her to do these kinds of votes because
these like ruthless kind of votes.
This type of thing is the type of thing that will come back to like bite her in the ass. 4 years from now, she's going to be on a debate stage, or 3 years from now, she's going to be on a debate stage.
Wait, the way she voted, or if she voted a different way? Can you clarify?
If she voted to strip funding for the Iron Dome,
gotcha.
There's going to be a moderator or whatever during the primary debates, and they're going to ask her, why did you vote to strip a defensive missile system? And even if your argument here is persuasive, to normie voters, they're just going to hear, wait, what? You wanted to get rid of their defensive missile systems? And this is going to be something like that is baggage. And there was no upside to her doing that vote. Why does she need to shore up her support from a lefty online voter base? Why does she still need their support?
I'm not super offended by this vote. I think people who are so out about it are cringe.
She voted against the bill. She voted
because it was dead on arrival, right? Like
bill.
how many votes did it get?
The amendment only got 6. Her amendment only got 6 votes, bro. It was like 400 plus people voted against it.
But I would like critique, and I would be scathing to anyone who like, if AOC did vote in favor of this provision, I wouldn't have a problem with it either. And if she voted against that, I don't really have a problem with that. For me, it's not a humongous deal. It's not like the other kind of signaling votes that do matter to me, for example, that indicate weakness, right? On the one hand,
but you understand how people are going to weaponize a vote like that in the future, and it's just going to cost her.
I'm not super offended by it. I think the people who are so out about it would vote for her, probably. And I think that she would get huge support from the far left community, from the pro-Palestinian community. And just to be clear about where I stand on something, I go after Ogre Boy because individually, I think a lot of there are some pro-Palestinian commentators who do have to answer for their votes with respect to not voting for Kamala or voting for
Ogre Boy has a Hassan tattoo. allegedly, okay? Yeah, you better go. Going after him is such a low bar, dude. He has a Hassan tattoo unironically, okay?
For Trump in some cases, but in general, like the lefts voted for Kamala, and so I'm so done with this narrative. It's just really just not true that like we're in favor of having that like fall out. The left, by and large, is voting for the Democratic candidate. It's not a huge deal, and I think people will get over it. And I think that I have to make a little self-critique or critique you, Hutch, a little bit. I think that the amount of time that you spend on lefties is a little inordinate given the risk that they pose from an electoral perspective.
They are all viciously attacking the best chance for democratic socialism in the Congress right now. Pull up her tweet and go in there.
They'll get over it.
What do you mean get over it?
Hassan will do a stream.
Hate this logic.
Hassan will do a stream with AOC.
Progressive media have no power.
Well,
really?
I think what he's saying, and I'm curious about this, and maybe we should ask Lakshya about this when we talk to him next Monday, is I think Pisco's argument is, though they will bitch online about...
Dude, what? Josiah, stop fucking covering for Pisco. What are you fucking doing? Stop. You're literally the enabler in this fucking abusive relationship. Fuck you, dude. The enabler is like worse than the actual abuser. Because at least we know that the abuser is abuser. But you know what's worse? The fucking enabler. That's what it is, okay? Fuck you for being a fucking enabler, okay? Of this fucking abusive relationship between Hutch, Pisco, and Econoboy, okay? Fuck you, dude. Fucking spineless behavior.
That it doesn't manifest meaningfully in voter turnout, that by and large lefties, progressives will still vote for the moderate Democratic candidate if a Republican is the alternative.
I completely reject this notion that a collective of audiences that number in the millions that traffic in this kind of idiotic, myopic, juvenile, like baseless oftentimes rhetoric, you don't think that's doing damage electorally? Especially when these elections are this close.
No, it's
you guys are high.
It's a 3v1 since Hutch starts sucking up to Destiny, but I don't even think that's true because like when was the last time, dude? It's just that no. I think it's just simply because of like Hutch supporting Ethan Klein. It has to be right because Hutch was defending Ethan Klein all the fucking time. Whatever. I give up. Okay. It's just
Hi, man.
I don't.
You're high.
It's not. No. But it's not. It's not that I don't think there's some margin of people that would be convinced by this. But we have to consider a few things. All right. So number one, a lot of these people have overlapping audiences, right?
What the fuck? I just got a fucking DM from Stardust. Okay, I don't know what's going on.
Number two, a lot of the audience of these people aren't necessarily like anti-electoralist or like Green Party voting socialists. You know what? As I gain more and more concurrent viewers, I think I have a feeling more of that is just going to show up. A lot of the people that watch these people are also libs, are also Democratic Party voters who just take a more skeptical view of things. And so when we look at, I think to Pisco's point, this is what resonates with me. Like when we look at like polling data, voting behavior, we can even look at the anecdotes of just like what happens when AOC gives a public appearance or gives a public speech, right? You do find that there are some people, and by the way, this was a vote that she took a year ago. It was substantially the same vote where she voted to continue funding the Iron Dome. And
it literally was.
Look at what happened in that last year. Like, yeah, there have been a few people that have shown up to a few of her events and yelled at her. They threw paint on her, like her office, I guess, the other day. But look, she's going to coast to re-election in 2026, more likely than not.
She'll be fine.
I don't understand you guys. You want to use kid gloves with these people. I really don't.
I'm not using kid gloves.
Yes, you do. You want
what are you talking about?
You want her to be successful, and you're hand waving literally all of them.
No, I'm not.
I don't agree. We don't agree with them.
You are.
We don't agree with them.
It's not that big of a deal. When the entire lefty media ecosystem are throwing her under the bus right now. All of them.
We don't think it will manifest in any kind of electoral result. I'm not convinced that it will have a material effect on her election chances with respect to like any kind of ambitious with the president and anything related to the Senate. By your own metric, right? By your own metric, she is going to do better because of this vote.
By the way, okay, I just want to say, like, I don't even know what to say. Like, these people are just ganging up with Hutch.
Like, you are the one who's billing this as a strategic move.
There's no way, just FYI, okay? There's no way I would defend Hutch this hard if it weren't for like this fucking dog pile every single time I see Hutch with these 3 fucking losers, okay? Just FYI, I would not defend Hutch this hard if everyone wasn't fucking dogpiling him all the fucking time, 24/7. Okay,
These
it's crazy.
people, you get that?
Yeah,
If anything, I'll make fun of Hutch for being too soy. Okay, this guy's so soy. All right, Hutch is a soy lord.
in spite of them.
Well, I don't think that Econoboy and Pisco are saying that the left bitching about AOC
We disagree
online
with
is
that.
helping.
I think it's
yeah. I don't think that they're saying that it's helping her. I think that they're saying that she will succeed in spite of them.
They're saying it's not that big of a deal, but Econoboy, you are changing your tune, my friend, because shortly after the election, you were making the case that polls were showing that a decent amount of people that sat out who otherwise would have voted Democrat, Gaza was a big deal to them. That's what you said shortly after the election.
Yeah,
you
but
you don't think the social media ecosystem had any part in that? Nothing or little part?
Well, no. First of all, the mainstream media covered this as a huge issue as well, and I mean there were major swaths of the Democratic Party that made that a priority. But we have to keep in mind, like when people aggregately say that they have more sympathy in the Democratic Party for Palestinians than for the Israeli government at this point, then
Oh no, this motherfucker, dude, whenever someone says like, oh yeah, the social media environment didn't contribute towards like the destruction of the Democrats in the last election, they are delusional, okay? 100% the pro-Palestinian like fucking thing affected the election in such a fucking negative way, okay? Because it showed that the Democratic Party was infighting, they looked divided, and there is no good frontal presentation in front of the fucking righties, okay? It's fine to have disagreements like that internally, but publicly you need to make a united front, okay? Not like looking like you don't have a united front. It looks really fucking bad, okay? I'm sorry, it just looks really fucking bad. It's really bad. It makes you look like you don't know what the fuck you're doing, okay? Why the fuck would you ever lead a country if you look divided?
And that's a spectrum view of people that like not everyone is as extreme as I don't know, like Hassan or Mike from PA on this issue. And when you look when you actually like talk to a lot of pro-Palestinian.
But that's such a low bar. That's such a low bar. Don't be Mike from PA. Don't be Hassan. Do you know how low of a bar that is? You're basically asking the bar to be like in the fucking dirt, right? Like that is such a low bar. Come
organizers, when it comes to their view about AOC, it's just
That's
not quite
such a
as
low
extreme
bar.
as your
What?
average like lefty Twitter
Come
account
on.
where
Dude, talk about the bigotry of low expectations, dude. On God.
a lot of them will say, yeah, it's a really disappointing vote, but look, I mean, AOC is right even on this issue, like 95%.
Who's 100% hey, if you think I'm 100% right, donate some money, okay? Show your appreciation.
People have a sensibility about these things, and then when it comes to like that's only amongst people that really prioritize this issue. I mean, I would ask you to make a prediction, Hutch. Do you think AOC is not going to get reelected to her congressional seat? Do you think she's going to get primary? Do you think that she's going to have like wall-to-wall protests at every single event she goes to? Do you think that she's going to, all of a sudden fall the fuck off in the polling of these presidential 2028 hypotheticals? Like, I think in
2028, if she hypothetically were to make a primary run for the president, they're going to make her job harder. They're going to hurt her in this.
I think they're going to support her. I think they will. But if they don't,
oh my God, Pisco, just shut the fuck up for like 5 seconds, okay? You are so fucking insufferable. I fucking hate your ass, okay?
I will never understand. Right. I will never understand. You guys support her. You want her to be successful. You see.
Bro, like, again, okay? Again, these lefties, all they want to do is that they want to endlessly critique. They want to endlessly critique, okay? They don't care about actual pragmatic progress. They don't, okay? They want to endlessly critique. That includes AOC. They want to endlessly critique AOC because she'll be in a position of power, which means that she is ripe for critiquing, okay?
You see creators with massive audiences. This is not small beans.
Condemn Hassan condemning AOC over this.
You see all of them in unison throwing her under the bus right now, and your reaction is to not like.
Wait a second. Wait. So two separate things. Wait. Two separate things. There's one issue, and I want to see if you agree with me laying out. One issue is, do we agree with that criticism, and do we condemn that criticism? I want to answer the affirmative. I condemn that criticism. I support my queen AOC. So that's one issue. Do we support that, and do we condemn the people who are making those opinions? I condemn the people who are condemning AOC on the basis of the vote. I agree with your strategic analysis. I don't really give a fuck if she voted one way or the other. I think it's small potato. I don't think it matters. That's one issue. The separate issue is, do you think it will be a big deal and materially affect anything over the course of AOC's political career? The answer to that is no. And you're telling me I'm unhinged because I have the take that nothing ever happens? I'm unhinged for thinking this shit won't matter and they'll forget.
Yeah, I mean, you sound pretty fucking unhinged right now. So
And about it in 2 weeks, that makes me unhinged, Hutch, right?
They're not going to stop. They're not going to stop attacking her.
Also, you know the problem is that I know that Pisco is smarter than this. I know that Pisco is smart, okay? I know that Pisco is smart. He is so fucking insufferable, okay?
They're going to actively work against her. These people have massive audiences that if they actually mobilize their audiences in constructive way, they could make an electoral difference at the local level, stake level.
Now that I agree. Now that I agree.
If you agree with me, then you should think it's a big deal that all of them
wait a minute. I think you're conflating two separate things. I totally agree with you, and I would be shocked if either Pisco or Econoboy disagreed. This idea that if Hutch was more if Hassan, for example, was more overtly pro Kamala Harris or whatever, alongside all the other big creators, could that have made a meaningful difference? I think yes.
I think maybe, yeah.
And certainly,
it certainly Donald Trump, and you're not pissed at these people.
Well, wait a minute,
I am pissed at saved us from Donald Trump, and you're like,
whoa. Huge conflation, Hutch. So one thing is, on this specific issue, years away from an election, you're saying my nonchalance at this specific vote and criticism of specific.
Is Pisco okay? Like, you good, bro? You wanna lie down for a bit, or what? Maybe circle back around to this conversation a bit later.
Content creators at this specific vote, years away from a presidential election, you're saying my nonchalance at that necessarily I'm nonchalant about Hassan with respect to the presidential election.
Sorry, buddy.
Hassan with respect to the presidential election months before the election. How on earth are you going to justify that massive conflation?
Because it's not just this. Your instinct is to always be like, yeah, but that's just like the lefties on social media, bro. They have collective millions of people in their audience. Millions. They could be doing so much more to help us stop fascism. And every time I bring it up, you guys are like, "Oh, here Hutch goes again."
So I critiqued heavily. I critiqued heavily, and by the way, Ogre Boy, I don't know. I think he might be in my Twitch actually. Do you want me to ban him?
No, it's fine.
So I critiqued massive.
There was no reason to bring up Ogre Boy, dude. There was literally no reason to bring up Ogre Boy, but to piss off Hutch, and you know it, okay? All right.
Massively, people who said, don't vote for Kamala, sit out the vote, the pro-Palestinian people. You see me on my Twitter having Twitter wars with these people. I think they're fucking, shitty opinions, stupid. I've confronted them on stream, and me being nonchalant.
My drama slap is unironically more important than Pisco. Yeah, it is.
Okay, yeah, this isn't going to matter. I don't really think it's going to have a material effect. It's not to lessen the condemnation. Fuck Hassan. I just want to say it one more time. Fuck Hassan Piker. I hate what he fucking stands for. I don't know what you want me to say. Fuck Hassan. Fuck Hassan. You want this virtue signal for me. You want this virtue signal for me. You want me to virtue signal.
Yeah, but it's not just about fucking Hassan, right? Everyone wants to fuck Hassan, okay? But what he wants out of you is that you need to know that these lefties are doing so much more to influence the results of the election, so much more than you think they do, okay? And they could be doing so much more to help the Democrats. So it's not just about fucking Hassan, okay? Though
I'll be like, fuck these people. Fuck them. They didn't vote for Biden. They didn't vote for Kamala. Fuck them. I disavow. All I'm saying is you're crazy if you think it's going to have a material effect. It's not going to have a material effect. Now, if what you're saying is the purity testing in general, speaks to a broader pattern, a character that is, apt to make them act a certain way, then yeah, that pattern is going to be problematic in the years to come, no doubt. But this particular manifestation of it is not going to fucking matter, bro. It's just they're going to forget about it.
It is not just Hassan, and we should stop looking at this particular thing in a vacuum. This is a systemic problem with that entire media ecosystem. Do you understand that?
So
Bad and Panada,
that's the
Hassan. Let's name names. Let's name names. Hassan.
Pull up the
Bad
tweet.
and Panada.
Pull it up.
Which
Pull it
one?
up.
Which tweet?
The AOC tweet where she talked about her vote yesterday.
Okay,
Let's take a look at the replies and we'll see what we see.
Well,
I'll pull
Hutch,
it up.
I feel like one point that you haven't really responded to is the idea that AOC literally made like this exact same vote like a year and a half ago.
Years ago,
and-
yes.
They
and I
didn't
mean,
attack
again,
her
like
like
the
this. I
same-
don't know what to tell you. They're
They
doing it now.
did. They did. Wait. The DSA,
Not
the
like
national
this.
DSA, the national
Not like
DSA,
this.
the national DSA officially unendorsed and removed her from their slate of candidates because of this exact vote that
It wasn't at this
Econoboy is
level.
referencing.
It wasn't at
Was
this
it
level.
was it AOC's official account or was it her press